How you doing? We're going to start this tape off with a little, well, there's some more pictures from Yoshi and Yui from Japan, and we've established a real good relationship with him as far as exchanging pictures, and he did send in some pictures of some of his new things here. And just give you an idea of some of the activity that's going on in Japan right now. We're current. These are pictures that just came in today, in fact. Now this is Toyoshi's daughter. He sent in a few pictures of her with this Tony. It looks like a semi-scale Japanese World War II semi-scale Tony. Anyway, thanks a lot to Toyoshi for the pictures. We'll go to the mail now and see what else we have. Now Russ Hunsberger, for anybody that doesn't know, a good friend of mine, he's just built a 3-car garage on his house and a tremendous workshop. You can see here some of the things he's got in his workshop. He revamped his whole cellar. He has about a 2,000 square foot cellar now, and we're just going to run through these pictures real quick. More pictures from Russ down the cellar. Here he's got the mittens that go on the end of the wing for transporting. He's putting on some coats of clear dope. There's a nice picture of the finished plane, kind of a tradition look. Some more pictures from down in Russ's cellar as he was finishing this guy off. Now here's one of the most common questions I hear. I guess common is the word beyond, more than common. You hear this from almost everybody. Hey, I have no room to store my planes. And this is Russ's cellar. This is his old shock and whatnot. But you see the old traditional way of standing planes on end, and the oil would drip on the bench and whatever. By the way, if you ever have a tuned pipe plane, never hang it this way. All the oil winds up going in the engine. Always hang it with the nose pointing up. Anyway, we have a real good point. I'm going to start this video off with a little discussion of this, and I think every single person out there can benefit from the discussion we're going to have about storing aeroplanes. Now what I'd like you to do is take a real close look at this photo. Look, this is down in Russ Hunsberger's cellar. You'll notice he has a rack, which basically is 2 2x4s with 2 pieces coming out to stabilize it. It's real handy if you can nail this into the ceiling too, to make this rack very stable. Now you also have, he's got, well, I'll count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 airplanes stored on tubes, and these are dowels, broomsticks covered with pipe insulation. So it makes a real nice, easy, handy way to store your airplanes. Now the reason I say this, most of us have to deal with wives and children and whatever, space requirements, the normal things, unless you happen to be very wealthy or whatever. You need a place to store planes. It's always an advantage to store them this way. I like to have mine, and everybody that's obviously watched these videos has seen my storage rack. This is kind of a takeoff on that rack. Don Gerber is the one that developed that rack, made the rack for me. He in fact has one of these in the back of his van. He can carry it. But it's worth mentioning now, and it's worth thinking about. If you have an air force of planes, and in this case Russ has 8, 10, 15 planes, what it's a good idea is to think of how you want to store them. Just another view, and this will be the last photo from Russ's collection. Storing planes in this way, there's a lot of advantages to it, and I want to get into this a little bit. Making a rack like this, if you see how this is constructed, you're talking maybe about $10 to $15 worth of wood, a couple hours of work, and you can have yourself a real nice storage rack. It'll very efficiently store the planes. One of the things I like about this system, instead of this system, we'll start right off with something that's very important but overlooked. When the planes are in this position, they're vulnerable. Things get poked into the wing, they get banged, they get slammed, they get dunked, they get every possible thing has happened to planes that I've had stored. There's where tail wheels have pulled out. People walk by, hook their belt on a prop, poke their eye out. This is a very haphazard way of storing airplanes. If you go back now to this way and you look at this, and again, this is Don Gerber's little brainchild here. We're just going to spin off on this a little bit. Since we have at any given time in the cellar here 8, 9 aeroplanes, and then we always have a few customer planes in here for work, what happens is we need an efficient way to store them. And this looks to me to be even an improvement over the way I stored them. And if anybody out there has a better way, a more efficient way, well, please let me know. Now here's just a couple of thoughts. When I made mine, Again, Don Gerber made it for me, and I made an extra one. I just took a piece of 2x4, 2 pieces of 2x4. The best possible thing is, if you can, is connect this into the ceiling with a nail, somehow connect it, or put up here a hinge that you can pull a pin out of the hinge and this will drop down. Down here you need to make this a little piece of 2x4 hanging out this way. And believe me, when you make one of these things, you'll say, how the heck did I ever live without this? This is such a handy thing. You need to connect it together in some reasonable way. Again, pieces of 2x4 if you're not a carpenter. I can't picture anybody that can build a stunt ship and not be able to build this. You also need to go get an electrician's drill to drill holes in the wood. That seems to be a practical way to do it. And again, if anybody has some improvements over this system, you need pieces of dowel about 18 inches long. You shove them through, put some white glue on them. Now it's handy if you can have this angle. Let's look from the side. I'm trying to think. Rich Peabody made one where he put the dowels on a little bit of an angle so that the planes kind of slide down, and he can use that to transport in his van then. It's really handy if you're going to go this far. Put some little rubber feet on it. And you've got yourself, in a matter of 2 hours and maybe $10, you've got yourself a place to store 8-10 airplanes in a very small, efficient space. Now also, what you can do if you want to go one step further, we're going to be moving into our new shop and we've already engineered this up. What we want to have is our little rack, and what we want to have is a shower curtain that goes completely around it. Picture that you would need a shower rack just like you need in a whatever, and we can pull a shower curtain around the planes, let it drip to the floor, and it keeps all the dust and dirt and bugs and everything else off the plane, so you can pretty much maintain them in a little bit better environment than you have. Again, this is just one handy, neat little way. By the way, for anybody interested, this was on the cover of Model Aviation, that picture that they put of my face and all the airplanes from last year. This rack is in that picture. It's also in all the videos. It's a handy thing to make. It's cheap. It's inexpensive. You take one Saturday morning, you'll have yourself a killer place to store planes. They'll be safer. If you want to put a clear shower curtain around it, it just protects it from young kids, people walking by, whatever. A real handy little tip, something I hope you'll take advantage of. Just one quick look here. This is again my rack, and just to show, some of the planes are out in the truck, some are out at various places over at the other house. But this has been one super handy. I put little pieces of foam, closed cell foam. You can see they're taped and stapled around so the leading edges don't get beaten up. Very handy, very efficient. I would highly recommend anybody that doesn't have a 10,000 square foot cellar to store their planes this way. Another thing, I put a little block of foam between the tail wheel and the rudder so I don't get a scratch on the plane. That's another handy little tip you might want to use. It's nice if you can put the bigger, heavier planes at the bottom, the lighter, thinner ones at the top. Just some thoughts. We have a real space requirement here, but in the new shop, which you're going to see on upcoming videos, we have maybe 8 to 10 times this amount of space. It's all carpeted, paneled, has dimmer switches on the lights. It's going to be a beautiful place to work. And in a year to come, I hope we're going to really do some videos that'll really impress the heck out of you. Now, one of our final little things that we've been working on, and I'll just try to give the information that's appropriate here. We wound up, and we're using only taffender. Only taffender fuel, direct from Doug Taffender. This way I'm sure that the nitro will be consistent, the oil will be consistent. What I've done, and again this is with a VMAX, but for all purposes you could use the same information for a 60 or 46 or whatever. I've got 5% fuel, 7.5 and 10. And what I have in the plane right now is a 6-ounce tank. Now what I've noticed is I really don't have room for much more than a 6-ounce tank. On 10% fuel it was running short. And what happened now is, rather than move the tank, change the tank, shim the tank, move it out, pick it up, change the venturi, whatever, I just switched fuel. What I did is I took some 5%, 10%, mixed 7. It was perfect. Then I went, and on a hot day on 5%, the motor would run kind of long, so I would have to pull fuel out. But what I want to discuss here, and it's a lot of people in our club, even people that are relatively knowledgeable, don't understand what happens when you add or subtract nitro from fuel. You can change the power characteristics, the run characteristics. You can change the whole way the motor runs just with the fuel. The handy part about doing it is you don't have to even touch the plane. You can do this outside the plane. If you're really cool, you can come to the field. I mean, if you're like, you can have 3 jugs and have the fuel already mixed at your house. All you need is 5 and 10. You can make 7, you can make 8, you can do whatever. And you can have the 3 blends of fuel. You can go to the field, and you know, on a really cool day, when it gets cool and the motor's making too much power, you can run your 5% fuel. When it's a medium day, a nice day, hey, you can run some 7. And when it's hot, humid, you're up on a high mountain, the 10% will probably work well. Now what I do is I build my whole thing around the idea I want to use a 6-ounce tank. And what happens if I start running short on fuel? I add some 5% fuel to the mix for that particular day, contest condition, or whatever. Okay? If I get to a meet and I'm a little low on power, especially if the wind is blowing up a storm and whatever, add some 10% fuel to your generic bottle fuel that you're using. You can vary this just like varying a needle valve. Now I know the symptoms, the way I can tell. I set my stopwatch on every flight, and when the plane runs, I like it to run about 5 minutes and 15 seconds. From the time I flip the prop to the time it starts burp, 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 I get a couple laps and it shuts off. This is plenty long to do a pattern. So for the sake of argument, let's make it 5:30. Okay? If it starts to run 5:45, if it runs longer than what I'm normally accustomed to, or if you don't want to do it with a stopwatch, you can count the laps at the end of the pattern. If you see it's running too long, well, an easy way to vary that is usually just add some 10% fuel. It'll drop back to 5:30. If you see you're running out of fuel, add some 5%. What it means is you're always running a blend. It's like having a needle valve. You can always go up on power a little, down on power. More fuel consumption, less fuel consumption. You can vary it just by having the 3 jugs of fuel. Now this is an important thing to know, especially if you intend to go to the team trials where there's a 7-minute time limit. It's especially important if you use a tuned pipe because there's so much power available. You really can't use all of it all the time. If you go out on a really cold day running 10% fuel and get a lean run, you're gonna run 4.2 or something. You really have to use your fuel like you would use a needle valve to vary the power, vary the fuel consumption. Now, a lot of people just don't understand this. As you add nitro, you use more fuel. If you're running short on fuel, you need to go down on nitro. If the plane is running too long, you need to go up on nitro. If it's very sensitive to a needle valve, if you have a plane where you just touch the needle valve, 1 click in, it's too lean, 1 click out, it's too rich, that means it's too needle valve sensitive. It's probably a vibration problem, but you can mask it and band-aid it to some degree by going up in nitro. You can even go to 12%. Years ago, when the vogue thing was to run a Super Tiger 60 with a big prop and a lot of vibration and weak nose construction, guys were going to 12 and 15% nitro just to mask and band-aid the vibration problem. But you got to understand, and it's important to understand this, nitro has a lot of effects on what happens. If you go up much beyond 10%, you run into heat. Tremendous heat. You're going to wind up when the motor comes down and you land, the motor will be cooking hot. Beyond about 10%, it's unrealistic to add more nitro. You'd like to work in the range of 10 to 5%. In this range, the exhaust temperatures are realistic. The head temperatures stay at about 350 degrees, and you're at a very safe. Running in this range, you're safe. And if you run 7.5% fuel, you can add a little nitro or take a little nitro out. You use it like a needle valve. Use it as a tuning device. And as long as you have this basic information, you know it's going to work for you every time. Now just one final note. Doug Taffender. In my book, he's the only one that I use their fuel. There's a simple reason. It's the same from gallon to gallon to gallon to gallon to gallon. You don't get one gallon that runs hot, one cool, whatever. It's the ingredients. The blend. Doug knows about stunt engines. He knows what ingredients you can use. Various grades of alcohol. Some are very cheap, some are very expensive. He uses good alcohol. The blending process, you can have somebody that doesn't know about stunt engines and says, just leave out a little more oil, it'll smoke less or something. You wind up, if you use any of these RC fuels, you wind up with a lot less than you bargained for. You also wind up a lot of times, if the fuel is green, there's Johnson outboard engine oil in it. A lot of times the alcohol will be textile grade unfiltered alcohol. A lot of times the castor oil is not going to be a AAA Baker. It's going to be some off-brand, reprocessed, Crisco, who knows what. Basically, if you try to use RC fuel is made to a price. Basically, RC people don't care if they wear their engines out. Forget about the price. My suggestion, if you're not already doing it, call Doug Taffender. Pay $1 or $2 extra for the gas. You know you're going to get consistency. You know your motors are going to last season after season. You're not going to get fooled around with the nitro. People blending nitro and telling you it's 10% and you check it and it's 2%. I've been lied to, ripped off, robbed, and I think it's a damn sin that some of these fuel makers, they tell you they're selling you 10% fuel, and you put it in where it has just been Taffender 10% fuel, and you have to go in on a needle 5 turns. Now, if you want to find out if you've been cheated, and this is the test of tests. Go get 10% Taffender fuel. Go get a gallon of it. Go get a tachometer and set the engine, let's say, a typical Super Tiger 46, 9,000 RPM. Now go get some brand X. Let's call it brand $. Don't touch the needle valve. Get this set and don't touch the needle valve. Put this fuel in. And what you're going to find out is you're going to have to go in on the needle. As soon as you see that you're going in on the needle, you know you don't have 10% fuel. Or you know you've been cheated in some other way. Because 10% fuel, if you get a gallon of Taffender fuel and you get another gallon, that RPM isn't going to change 1 RPM. What happens, and this happened with Vic Macaluso, if you want to go back and look at the videos. Vic come out with some off-brand fuel, and what happens? You're trying to get a consistent needle run, and it winds up that you have 1% nitro in the fuel, or they weigh it, or they blend it, or they do something else that makes you crazy. This can make you crazy. This can really do this to you at the flying field. This can really make a nut job out of you. So my suggestion is, if you're really a super competitor and you really want to have everything, you get some 10, 7, 5, some TAF. Don't fool around with other brands. Use this, blend it at the field to the conditions. Take notes of what worked at what field, at what temperature. As the temperature goes up, you want to go up in nitro. Remember, the temperature and nitro go hand in hand. As you go down in temperature, down in nitro. Up in temperature, up in nitro. And you can maintain some level of consistency. And I don't know that there's anybody that out there that can explain to me the idiosyncrasies of blending fuel, but I know I've seen people come to the field with 2 gallons of fuel, and you go, say, from 5%, and you get another gallon of 5%, you have to go in on the needle or out on the needle or something. It makes you crazy. Taffender fuel, that's my suggestion. I know it's somebody out there is probably saying right now, oh, yeah, I'll get this cheap fuel for $5 a gallon. Works fine for me. Well, yeah, fine. But don't take guys that are just coming into the hobby and make them crazy with fuel with no nitro and 10% oil or something. They're eating their motors up. Stick with Taffender fuel. That's my suggestion of the day. All right, the circle burner contest is this week. We're going to try to get out to the practice session Saturday. Usually there's a good fun fly. See, there's a couple of guys bringing out their new planes. We hope we're going to have some people coming from out of the area. And we'll check that out. And of course we're going to try to do some prop testing. We're at the Garden State Circle Burners. This is the 1993 June meet, and we'll try to get as much footage as we can of the actual flying. This is Joe Adamusco's definitely front row Cardinal here. He's got the first flight of the day. You can see by the flag the air is stone dead. We have a real good turnout here today, and we'll try to get some of the flights on video, some of the action. At the end of the day, they have the fly-off for the expert, advanced, intermediate, and beginner. The winners get to fly against their best flight to try to up their score, and the winner gets to take home the Red Reinhardt Memorial Cup. Last year's winner was Carlos Serra, and we're going to try to see what we can do about getting that cup away from him today. Poor Carlos. Anyway, we'll try to get a couple of flights on video for you. The Nats are 2 weeks away, and we're looking forward to having a really nice contest. Looks like we have the grass, you can see, is really mowed real low. We spent all day yesterday. We had 2 mowers out here. Rich Peabody was John DeTavio, and believe it or not, Bob Kruger, all busy, myself, mowing the grass, trying to get the field all shaped up and nice. What normally happens at these contests is this is a local contest. It's not a high energy event here. Everybody's kind of casual about it. What we try to do is at the end of the contest, if the air is flyable, there's several people here, including Carlos, that would like to have their planes flown, and hopefully I can get to trim some of them out and maybe even get some of the things that we're doing to trim them on video. Billy Suarez is here. He's the leader in the Northeast Points Championship so far. He's been flying up a storm. We got several. Mike Rogers is here with his smaller plane, the Griffin. And we have the Tweener, which is this will be the last tune-up contest before the Nats. So we look to try to get some, some trim flights, try to help some people, get some feedback, get some video. Their appearance point in Joe's plane, and we'll be ready for the first flight. Now, one of the things that's really significant here, one of the things that's really important at these local contests is to kind of keep it in perspective. This is not the Nationals. We're all here basically to help each other get ready for the Nationals. Have some fun. Use it as a tune-up session. Not get too carried away if you don't put in a good flight. In this dead air, the air here can be treacherous, that's for sure. And I think the thing, if you keep that in perspective, you can enjoy these local contests like a little football scrimmage. And if you get carried away, and to me this is a very big, important part of stunt, is not to let local contests make you crazy if you don't win or if you don't fly up to your potential. But really to try to enjoy them and use them as a tune-up session for the Nats. If you can, get somebody to videotape your flight so you can go home and see your mistakes and make corrections. And if you do all this, you'll benefit a lot. From Pennsylvania, Virginia here, really from Newton, PA. This is a Cardinal built right off the 60-size Cardinal planes, and definitely one of the nicest planes around. Joe would like some help. We want him to get to fly the green plane, the one John's been flying. And maybe I'll get to fly this one a few times, get some trim flights on it. We have one of those Brian Ether 60 two-blade props to try on this. And if we still have batteries left at the end of this tape, and tape left, we'll try to get some of that on video for you. And I guess as much as anything, this is a part of the hobby and a part that I enjoy, is helping other people set their planes up, get the most potential out of whatever plane they're building, whether it's a Cardinal or not, it doesn't matter. But this is, for me, one of the enjoyable parts of the hobby. And the best part of these contests is actually when the contest is over, for sure. This is, of course, a Super Tiger 60 set up by Big Jim. 5-inch pitch prop. We're in some nasty backup corkscrew dead air here. This dead air can be treacherous for bigger and heavier planes. It seems like the smaller and lighter planes go through a lot better. What happens on the second time through a maneuver, you hit your own turbulence a lot of times if you don't back up enough. What it's doing, it's going through its own wake turbulence. And you'll usually get this in stone dead air like we have today. I see a little breeze coming up now, certainly not much though. These big Cardinals, they like to fly in a wind. They're much happier in a heavy gusty wind than in this kind of dead air. There's a handicap factor to having dead air. Brian Ether two-blade prop, the 12.5/5, the one that Brian's developed for the 60, from a mold that I've made actually. And what we want to try to do is we'll get a cleaner and smoother corner with a smaller diameter prop. May or may not improve the flying in this kind of air, but it'll definitely improve it in runway air, much like the one we did for Jose Modesto. That one is much improved, the performance of that plane. And they're basically the same size and shape and weight plane. This seems to have a pretty good corner right now, even under these conditions. I'm very surprised. Looks like he's going to leave out the overhead 8 here. Yep, Joe, you forgot the overhead 8. Smile, Suarez.
Even the bugs bite, they bite everyone.
Get him, Busso. Now this is the ultimate stunt wife. Look at it, she carries his crap in a bag in a box while he takes the plane. What a man! Give him a testosterone test. Scott Smith.
Take the box on camera.
Scott Smith recommends making built-up wings. Skip those foam wings.
That's right. At least till I get caught up.
And always marry a woman that'll carry your junk.
Who's little red plate? 5-year-old.
Hey Karen, what's the technique for getting a woman to carry the flight box? All our customers want to know. Not forget it, huh? Tell me to take, my wife won't even carry my wallet.
She won't carry your wallet.
And it's light, it's not, it's very light.
How's the rehab been going?
Rehab's going good, Scotty. Let's get a the world famous Ken Stout saying hello to everybody down in Cessna land. How's the plane flying? Good? Good, good.
I just brought up a couple of photographs. The car was...
Big photo opportunity here for Jaguar fans at the Jaguar dealership. Plans available exclusively from Pro Stunt Products. I think Busso's been selling some bootleg copies of these plans though.
I haven't sold one.
I don't remember Carlos buying plans, you know, Steve.
Friday. I gave them to you. You build one, you get one.
I'm starting to sound like Bob Hunt with all these lawsuits here. Unbelievable.
Saturday night, they reckon Jaguar's pretty good. Oh, aren't they nice cars?
Now, which one is the SJ6? Let's see, which is, I don't know, his looks a little nicer canopy too. This one belongs to Carlos Serra, and we will try to trim this out at the end of the day for him. He hasn't got a pattern on it yet, believe it or not. Steve Busso design. A blatant rip-off of Wendy Arnowski's paint job here.
It's a Jersey paint job.
Ah, get out of here. Mosquitoes biting everybody here. I don't know, Carlos looks like a little nicer than yours, Steve. I don't know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I want to hear this from the horse's mouth here.
This is front row.
Definitely very nice.
That's all, I just wanted them both.
National champion Carlos Serra, Jr.
Yeah, I don't have any pictures of it.
Photo opportunity here. The designer. The king of plans, Jurassic Busso.
Jurassic Zapster.
They found a mosquito that bit Busso and they made another one of them. We were thinking of having Jurassic Park stunt where you could get mosquitoes that bit Jim Silhavy and Bob Gildini and everything and make new nice young Bob Gildinis and nice young everybody's.
The airplane was bounced.
Now Mike Rogers made a little reinforcement to his nose construction here. This plane always had a motor run problem, and he's tried to beef up the nose here in a way that I guess he never watches Pro Stunt videos. You can do this before you paint the plane. It makes it a lot easier. Anyway, beefing the nose up, a very important part of building an aeroplane. Steve Busso, first official flight. Mike Rogers giving him a launch. Steve's been practicing hard, moving right up the ranks here. Super Tiger 46 by Big Jim. This is little Jaguar design. Plans available from Pro Stunt Products. Look at this walk out to the handle. You believe this? Dum da dum da dum da dum da dum. Give me a break. Run out to the handle, you turkey. Trying to act like Paul Walker here, walking out. Leave that for the super experts, all that strutting and puffing and walking out to the handle like a big shot. Come on, Steve. You're one of us, you don't pull that kind of cheap trick. see Steve is still going through dead air here. We're still having a legitimate dead air contest so far. At this field, you usually get two conditions. The air is too dead to fly or it's too turbulent to fly. You don't get anything in between. Steve's getting to be an exciting pilot. He must be hanging around with somebody that likes low bottoms here. Whoa. Somebody got an ignition engine over there right now. Got a lot of entries in old time stunt here today. Ignition-o-matics. Are we doing secret stuff here, Will?
Absolutely.
Cleaning the inside of the cowl to remove extra nose weight. Secret stuff. Oh. This is the secret.
Don't let anybody see that the Middlesex contest is coming up.
Uh-oh, forget the Middlesex meet. Forget it. No advertisement.
This is secret stuff. You know, we don't want anybody to come like that.
Billy's putting in the nose weight. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, he's loading the gun. Putting in the big bullet. flight will be Mike. Who's up next? Mike? You're up, Mike?
I'm waiting.
Mike Rogers, getting no respect at all. Nobody wants a
respect
pit
at all.
crew.
Nobody wants to help.
Just let him drag it out himself like a dead cat on the end of the leash. No respect, Mike.
Good idea.
Give him the best years of your life. No respect. Wasting all my good air.
How about windy or
Dead air, huh?
dead air?
Dead air is brutal, baby.
Autopsy, very balloon.
Brutal air. Tell me about it.
So you just run the engine another 600 RPM faster than usual. Hope your timing isn't too far.
Timing's never a factor, Steve. We'll try to get over to the old-time stunt circle later, see what we got going over there. So far we've had nothing but absolute dead air. Dead beyond belief. Mike Rogers, first official flight. Godzilla just walked by the camera here.
Notice the fake line reel?
Godzilla Buso. No respect. Well, it looks like from this point on it's going to be a dead air contest. We have no air, no wind, no nothing. Corkscrewing, backing up, flying through your own weight, whatever. Under these conditions, what traditionally works is short lines, nose weight and tip weight. And those trim conditions Bill Suarez has already put in his plane. I don't know what Mike's gone for. I've gone for the 1 ounce of nose weight, extra 1/4 ounce of tip weight, and very short lines. That's the combination I like to fly under these conditions. And we talked about those conditions before. Well, we'll see how they seem to work today. Of course, you never really can tell. There's so many variables. Heat, temperature, humidity. It was raining this morning when I got here. Another variable thing. This is one of Big Jim Greenaway's older designs. I have a copy of this. You've probably seen the yellow and white Griffin that we did some 51 development work in, some VMAX work in. We tried rubber mounts, tried some experimental gas tanks, some experimental props. Never really got it to fly as well as the other designs like the Pattern Master, the BJ, the LJ. And Mike has kind of been in a quandary. He can't decide which plane he wants to fly. So I guess he's giving this one a shot in this dead contest there that we have today. I think everybody except Billy Suarez has the wheel pants off the plane. And sometimes you don't have to take them off before the flight. They come off on the landing. So. Well, we did a good job on the grass today. The grass was nice. Nicely mowed. I think I gotta check. I'm up next, so I may not be able to get Billy's flight on video, so we'll see. See what we can get here for you. Give you a little look at what goes on in this part of the country. If you're ever out this way, you can stop in at one of these local contests. You'll find out they're a lot of fun. They're low key. May get a little serious on the Reinhardt Cup fly-off, but right now everybody seems pretty mellow, pretty happy with the way things are turning out. Bob Lampione had to work. Jimmy Borelli couldn't show up due to some family commitments, so we didn't get to see those two guys. Both have new planes, and we'll be getting them on the next tape, I hope. Bob Lampione's is supposed to be a real beauty, and I think we got Borelli. Yeah, Borelli's was on the last tape. but this dead air can be treacherous when you come around, especially on a triangle, and hit your own air. Oh, it can be a mess. Obviously, under these conditions, whip up is not a factor. Having maximum diameter on the plane is not a factor. Putting out maximum power is not a factor. You can pretty much go for a nice soft motor run. You do a lot of backing up and keep the line short, and you'll probably do well at these contests. Short lines are always the answer for this kind of a condition. Mike Rogers, Larchmont, New York.
I just have big after I fly, I'll dig around.
Of course, later. Today, doesn't matter. You electric?
Well, thanks to Carlos Sarah for filming that last flight. I don't know if we got it, but we'll see. Dead air. Stone dead air. Here's Larry Scurenzi, legend of the event. Here to supervise the old-time stunt event. What was that, the chipmunk? The guy's chipmunk went in? All American. Just had an accident over on the back circle here.
That's for the narration.
Who's up next, Tom? We're going to jump, we got to jump Hampshire because he's in
Hampshire.
Where is he?
Hampshire. Is he here?
Bill Suarez, the current front runner in the Northeast Points Championship. He's got his plane nose weighted up. Got it dialed in for the conditions. Had a good practice flight, real good flight. And he has the next flight. Absolutely stone dead air. Beautiful, beautiful conditions for this field. Beyond good. The man even has wheel pants on his plane. I can't believe this. Wheel pants at this field. Could be dangerous. You saw the landing I had, just jumped up out of the ground. Unbelievable. You could pull a gear out of the wing in a minute here. Bill Suarez, Pennsylvania, Kentucky.
Side, I don't know if you...
Hey, and we're but I did it.
Now you're in for a real treat. This is Don Still's overweight brother. Boy, he knows how to hit him where it hurts.
Wendy, if you're ever not sarcastic to me, I'll think you're sick.
The pride of Stuka, Pennsylvania. Able to leap tall pierogies in a single bound.
Pierogies? No.
Come on,
No.
we want to see, look, Don Still, you'll dig him up out of his grave when he sees this fly. We'll bury him one or the other.
Yeah, he'll spin 4 feet down further, that's
Listen,
all.
he deserves it. Hey, nice canopy anyway. I like the detail.
The canopy is a Midgley special, $5.
That's a Midgley?
It's a
Oh,
Midgley.
man.
I didn't get too fussy with detail. It's OTS, and
That's
what you
right.
see is what you get.
That's right. That Midgley's no good, boy. I'll tell you, rotten to the core. Charges you $3 for a canopy that costs him $8 to make.
Yeah, he really is. He's a master of.
He knows how to lose
higher
money, I'll tell
economics.
you.
Yeah, you lose $2 a canopy and
He
make it
knows
up
how
on
to
volume.
run a business right into the ground. He's doing it for Welsh fluorocarbon right now.
And they put it on an airplane with a stupid name.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Oh man, Midgley's. I'm gonna send him a copy of this and say, yeah, they're making fun of your canopies. Midgley, if you're watching this, hey, eat your heart out.
Tell him
Look
it
at this, they
doesn't
give him
stick
6
either. That's why it's all
appearance points 'cause of
cracked around the
canopy.
edge.
It doesn't stick.
It doesn't stick.
Well, he makes them out of all the wrappers that bread comes in.
Oh, does he?
Why buy material?
I thought they were used condoms.
Hey, don't say that on my videos. You got it. This is going out to Paul Walker right now. I'm ashamed.
It's going out to the Pampa Political Correctness
That's
Committee,
right. Fancher's gonna see this.
Oh boy.
Fed Pancher. All right, don't waste my battery. Give me a good flight. Oh my God, he primes it. Look at this. He'll catch fire. There'll be a fire at the field here today. Nah. No wonder the Germans lost the war. They had to turn the planes upside down to start them. Muscle.
Mr. Judge, field foul. I can't fly with him busting on me that way. Field foul.
A formal complaint has been signed against Pro Stunt Videos here. Too bad.
Yeah,
This guy's a lawyer. Nobody has any respect for him anyway. Tell us what you do for a living. Nothing, right? Well, lawyer and nothing is the same thing. Come on, get him. Tom Hampshire.
Fine.
This is what happens when you put a tune pipe in a Stuka stunt. They don't start. Batavia. Brings back memories of Don Still and his twin brother. Still would be rolling over in his wheelchair if he saw this plane. Disrespectfully fast. Maybe we can get him to shoot down Paul Walker's B-17. Yeah, that would be great. While Walker was flying his B-17, we could have a bunch of guys with Don Still Stuka stunts attack him. Go right for the nylon props. Cut the flap horn, the Pro Stunt product flap horn. The weld joint will probably break halfway through the season anyway on that flap horn I made him. Whoa! Jeez, oh my God, Don's probably having a conniption right now. Don, you better take a Darvon or something before you watch the rest of this tape. I told him, never put a tune pipe in a German aeroplane. Das Tune Pipe. I see that battery light coming. I hope we get the rest of this flight. Anyway, good old Carlos Serra made me up an extra heavy-duty battery. Guaranteed would never go dull. Go out in the middle of one of my precious, never-to-be-forgotten flights. He was the one recording my flight. Hope he got it on video. Especially that beautiful landing where it jumped 7 feet in the ground. Anyway, some good news, good news. We did find what we hope is a lead for another flying field to replace Bradley's. We're going to go down and check it out during the week. We're really hurting for a paved flying site. We've been trying to do some prop testing here, but it's really less than totally productive. But if we get a nice concrete field where we can practice takeoffs and landings and stuff, we'll be back into mode. We will be going out. We will be taking a week before the Nats off. We'll get some video then. And of course we'll do our trip out. Now it's sad to say Midgley's not going to be able to make it. We'll really miss his help and his sense of humor and his ability to get women pregnant at a stroke of a pen. But Midgley, if you're watching this, hey, you made the right move. Take care of the wife and baby, and maybe we get to go to the team trials together. Don Still, being prematurely gray and bald. Tough work flying a Stuka stunt at 3.6, huh? Hey, Banjock, let's see that thing. You gonna let me fly that at the end of the day? Maybe the lines will break on that too.
Not a clue. I will fly that. Maybe you can go get your airplane.
Combat job last night.
It's here, all I gotta do is put lines on it.
I gotta get ready to.
Here we have a pregnant airplane right in the middle of a contest. Look at this. Suarez's plane just gave birth to a baby half-A here. Dan Banjock, owner of the famous combat job that the lines broke on at Edison, went flying over the trees.
You're over, Tom.
Yeah, by 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Don Still died of old age waiting for you to come down.
I want to know what that says on the wing.
Came out, John.
See, that's
Tom, never put a tune pipe in a Stuka.
I don't like this story.
What, do you got, Judge, an event?
Telling us all off because we don't know any better.
You and Carlos just...
Jim Damarell, first flight. Jim Damarell, first round. Now we got Carlos and I got roped into judging, so we're not going to get much more video here until we get done judging Nostalgia. I think there's 7 entries after. Check it out. It has turned out to be an absolutely gorgeous, beautiful day. Doesn't get a whole lot nicer than this. Jim Damarell, first official flight. This is the lieutenant. Plane he got 4th in Tucson with. You can obviously fly this in Nostalgia and in, real big time stunt, all at the same time. Now what's neat, Wayne flew over the field before and took some footage while I was flying from a Cessna. And if I do get a copy of that, I'll splice it on the end of the beginning of one of the videos. Kind of cool, try to see what the field looks like from 1,000 feet or so. Now what he did, this is really a full body ship. This is a, he made a profile out of it. Monocoated it. I think we have this on a couple of our videos too. Nice elliptical wing like a T-bird, very unusual wing. Wide ring WIB, WIB spacing. Kind of a colorful design, got the checkerboards here and there.
Hub and everything disintegrate, engine warp speed, plug melted, engine got no compression no more. I tried, after I managed to get the ring off of the piston because the piston got crunched under the ring.
It's amazing here how many entries we do have in nostalgia. Nostalgia is really starting to catch on here. Obviously, it's nice. It adds an event to. We have Old Time Phase 1, Old Time Phase 2, Nostalgia, all the Pamper classes. It gets to be a nice meet. And it's really turned out to be the best of days, weather-wise, friendship-wise, plenty of good burgers on the grill. This is one of the better circle burner meets, and of course we have them all on video. We have some bad ones where the weather was almost unflyable. We had some good ones. Ooh, nice low bottom.
Smoke spouting off to the
Sounds like he's got a halfway decent motor run on this guy. Jim Damarell, of course, did an awful lot of photography work for us, videotape work on previous videos. We hope we're going to get some help from him, taking the week before the Nats, videotaping some of our flights, some of the fine-tuning we hope to do before we actually go to the Nats, before we actually get there. I guess he's moving the judges here. Uh-oh. Moving the judges. Jim just got back from China, and I have to tell you, he bought my wife some Ming Dynasty dollhouse furniture for her dollhouse, and she was just absolutely happy, thrilled to death. It really is a treasure. We have it put away. When we finish our dollhouse, and that'll probably be a year from now when we finish the house, we have a real nice collection of dollhouse furniture starting, and each piece means something to us. The ones we got from China. First time Jim went to China, I got a carving set. That was nice. And now we have some dollhouse furniture. So little ivory pieces and inlaid wood. All handmade, of course. Really neat. Jim was selling some funny things about China. They got to eat dog meat and cat meat and snakes and lizards and things. He said pretty much anything that moves becomes food. They wouldn't tell him. They told him he was eating chicken, and when he got done eating chicken, they told him it was a frog. It was an uncooked frog, in fact. So, I don't know. I don't think I'll be going to Beijing, I think is where he was, installing heavy plastic extruding equipment. He's a technician for a plastic extruding company. Gets to travel worldwide. Super nice guy. If you don't know him, if you haven't seen him, run up and shake his hand and pull the back of his underwear and let it go. Tell him I said it's okay. Jim Damarell of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Jackson Hole, New York. We're not really sure where he lives. The last time I saw him, he was living in the back of his van. I don't know. I hear a plane very close to my back here. I think they have one of the old-time ignition planes up. Uh-oh, Jimmy. On the back circle, Pete Herman's with his All-American in the old-time event. The weather is just outstanding here. It's probably in the low 90s, high 80s. No wind at all. Got a great turnout here, especially in old-time and nostalgia, which seems really to be catching on like I never would have expected. Busso selling plans. trying to make an illegal buck here. Anything for a buck buso. I'm sure he reports every dime to the income tax.
Geez, well, I got tons of help.
So you can carry the stuff.
Or what?
What are you going to the Bahamas tonight? Selling drugs again?
You have to do that sort of thing to pay for this hobby.
Look at the weight this guy's put on since his last abortion. Holy mackerel.
Side view.
Side view.
3 views.
Oh my God, you're starting to look like me. Heaven forbid. What you need is the hairy
I love
bit.
being on your videos. And when I go to Tucson, people know who I am.
Yeah, if it wasn't for me, I wouldn't even know who you are. Think of that one for a while. My wife wouldn't even know who I am. Here's a guy that saves money on fuel. He uses cigarettes instead of fuel tanks. That's handy. All kind of interesting things. A flying clown. Look at this. Can you believe this? The Chief. Mike Karavich, the terror of old-time stunt here. Bobby Jungling, national champion. Stunt Wagon, the king of stunt here. The world's most restrictive muffler. It only has one hole in the muffler. My God, Bob McDonald would choke to death on that. What else? A drone diesel with a glow plug. What? Another Stuka stunt. This one with a real canopy. Look at that. What do you say, Calls? You ready to judge?
Yes.
Okay. What is this the first flight?
The first flight after this one.
Okay. We'll get the sheets.
Okay.
Get all pencil. I got a stopwatch. Just get the pencils and sheets. Here's Bob Krug in the back. He owes the most money in back dues that the club has ever had. He's behind about $400 on his dues. They let him fly today. He's been living in the back of a trailer truck. I don't know. A lot of strange people in this club. Well, we're going to have to bite off the video here for a while. We obviously have to go judge, so this one we'll look around at what we have, and we'll see you after the nostalgia event.
Master with...
Okay, so give me the whole story. This is a Greenaway pattern master. You watched all the videos, picked up all the information you can.
Yep. I used the full wing tips like you showed on your tapes.
Great. Oh, good.
Better. It's
What's it weigh right now?
68 ounces right now to silver, first coat.
Oh, beautiful. If it's under 70, it'll be a killer.
Good.
I see you did the red lead trick right off the videos.
Yes, sir. It's working good.
Nice canopy. Greenaway will like this body. That's his favorite thing, is the submarine body like this. Looks great.
Thanks.
Looks great.
Got the Tiger 60 with an admission muffler.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Good choice. You get Jim to rework the engine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Yep.
It'll fly like a dream. Believe me, if it doesn't, you can come and say, I told you so. Or go to Flushing and hit Jim on the head with it. It'll fly good. Under 70 ounces, piece of cake. It'll leave me nose heavy, I guarantee it.
Good.
Fresh off heart attack surgery here. Hey, Paul Walker wants some scale detail for his B-17.
He does.
This is a man who built a real B-17. How big was that B-17, George?
13 foot.
13-foot wingspan. Now see, Walker, you know, he builds a half-A version of the thing. If he built a man's plane like the Sweeper,
Right.
160 ounces or so, hey, manhood, testosterone, you know, his little half-A.
You could almost consider him in the club.
Yeah, little puny 15s. A B-17 with 15s. Why didn't he put all 49s in it? This is a real B-17 pilot here, George Gatus. Many-time world and national champion of...
Man, you're stretching it.
of beating